Hey guys, it's What If Senpai here. I'm back with another video. This is probably might be a special. If it's not, it might not. It may be an hour special, 2 hour special. I'm planning to finish this series in one go. It might be long, might be short. I don't know. It depends on how much energy I have today. So yeah. Let me just make sure my door is locked because my door. Yeah, excuse me. Just I don't want anybody to interrupt this. Perfect. Let's get into this. What if this is what if Naruto took his ninja life seriously? Basically, is that what if Naruto took his ninja life seriously, and I'm gonna name it a serious ninja, or ninja serious ninja. So let's go. Let's get into this. What if? And there'll be no intro or outro because this is gonna be a long video, and I don't want to add that up to points. So let's go. We're gonna start this what if at. We're gonna start shit. Oh, we're gonna start this what if at Naruto jumping through trees with his scroll in his hand. He would stop, put down the scroll, and he would put down the scroll and start reading. He would see the shadow kenjutsu and the real reason for the shadow kenjutsu under how to do it. He would also have another scroll in his hand. It had the Uzumaki swirl on it, and his name under it. He then opened that scroll and then explained his heritage and who his father was, who his mother was, and all of that. Then Uzumaki came. And this time Naruto was such in a distressed order, and he was so much angered and distressed, and then Mitsuki then told him about the Nine Tails, made him even angrier. And his eyes went a red crimson color. And a pattern would appear into his eye that looked like a sunflower, but it wasn't. It was like three arrows. Was 8 arrows pointing from the pupil. And red chains would sprout from Naruto's back. Naruto would then go on to shoot the chains towards Mitsuki, and it would entangle him and suck the chakra out of him until he died. Yeah, and the chakra that Naruto sucked from him would be added to his chakra level. Yeah, that's how Naruto's chakra chains work. So Aruka would come, and he would still tell Naruto the speech, because then Naruto was saying he was a monster and he was the Nine Tails and stuff. He would say that, and Aruka would correct him and tell him the same speech that he told him in canon. Naruto would then go to the third Hokage's office, and the third Hokage would then give Naruto the keys for the Uzumaki compound, because now that he knew it was too hard to hide from him now. The Uzumaki compound and all of his inheritance that he got, that's from his father and mother. Naruto didn't talk to the third Hokage, but he did say that he didn't care that he didn't tell him. The school explained that how Minato had many enemies, and if he told anyone, Naruto would die, and he wouldn't want that. Naruto would then go to the Uzumaki compound. He would then go to the Uzumaki compound, and he would send shadow clones to his old apartment to move out everything and put it there. He would then go into the jutsu, the library, and he would see the flying Waijin, and he would take it up and play it on the table, put it on the desk. In the Uzumaki compound, there was many houses, many buildings, and a lot of big whirlpool statue in the whole of the middle of the compound. Naruto would then go to sleep that night. Naruto would be in a dark place. He would then see two red eyes staring at him. He would then see the Kyuubi. Naruto asked the Kyuubi his name first. He knew the Kyuubi killed his parents, but he didn't really care, because he looked at the standpoint of the Kyuubi. The Kyuubi has been used as a weapon for years. So, imagine how he felt when he was captured. He didn't like it, and no one liked being used as a weapon. No one. So, Naruto looked at the Kyuubi from the Kyuubi's perspective instead of his perspective. Sure, he didn't forgive him for killing his parents, all in all, but he would never take it out on the Kyuubi because he knew he would done the same thing if the situation came for it. The Kyuubi would then tell him that his name was Kurama, and yes, this is the nice half of the Kyuubi, not the pissed off one all the freaking time. They would then have a conversation, and Naruto would end up taking off the seal off the Kyuubi. This time there was no key to get because Naruto just made it one thing. So there was no key. So Naruto didn't need a key to like open the cage. So Naruto would meet Kushina and Minato. They would then have a heartfelt conversation with a lot of tears and crying and like hugs and stuff. I can't express it because that's a moment that you can only have with your family. That's a moment that only you and your family can have. And if you don't have that family, I'm very sorry. I have my family, but me and my family are not close like that. We won't do that like ever. But that is something that you would cherish for the rest of your life. Now, the Kyuubi would then put his claw out to Naruto's seal, and he would tap it. And Naruto's whisker marks would start to get more feral, like more ruffled, and his teeth would have got a little bit more sharper. But the most changed was his body. He started to grow rapidly, actually. He started to grow up to Sasuke's height, and his abs started to show. And his muscles started to grow and get more defined. And his chakra turned red instead of its normal blue. Instead of normal blue, it turned red instead. So Naruto would go and he'd go outside the mindscape, and he would find a place that his father and mother told him about. Naruto would then ask the Kyuubi for his help. And the Kyuubi would ask what he needed. Naruto would burn all the jumpsuits that he had. He would then send he would make a clone and hand it into some other person, and he would give that person money to buy him new clothes. I'm gonna show you the clothes that Naruto would be buying, and it would be a little fadey because I got this off of a thumbnail because I couldn't find the original thing, so I had to get it off of thumbnail. I'm sorry, I just couldn't. So sorry. This is the clothes that Naruto will be wearing now. But the shirt would be open, and he would have a white shirt under the black shirt. Naruto would then make 1,000. He would make He would make 8,000 shadow clones, and he would sustain the shadow clones with the QB chakra, so they can work day and night, and the QB will replenish their chakra. So the QB would be connected to all of these clones, and he can refill all their chakras. The QB would then no, Naruto would then go into the time and gravity chamber. But before this, he went to the Uzumaki stone tablet. He turned on his Uzagon, which he needed to swirl his Uzumaki chakra in his eyes, and the Uzagon would activate. You already saw the Uzagon, and that's the name of his Dojutsu. He would then read about the Uzagon's abilities. The Uzagon had a perfect copy, as in, if Naruto was trying to learn the Shidori, all he had to do is see Kakashi do the Shidori, and Kakashi tell him the steps to do the Shidori, and he would be able to do the Shidori with first try. Perfect insight, as in he can see exactly what you were gonna do before you even did it. So if he was gonna try to trick him and used one punch, and then the other punch would be behind your back, he would already see 2 steps ahead of you and already prepared for that. He would have the power of the Reaper. He would be able to use the Shinigami, the seal away a person's chakra and completely destroy a person's chakra network, enabling that person for using chakra for the rest of his or her life. Conqueror's Eye. It's like Conqueror's Haki from One Piece. Yes, I'm starting to watch One Piece. Yeah. And it's like that. So if you made eye contact with this person, and this person had more willpower than you, you would be able to make you fall to your knees, basically. You would also have all 5 chakra natures, and that's it. You would also make another 1,000 clones to do sealing jutsu. These 8,000 clones all 9,000 clones. One did kenjutsu, one did taijutsu, one did ninjutsu, genjutsu. Dojutsu is using his dojutsu, Kekkei Genkai, chakra natures, sealing, and history. So it'll be 9. So it will be 9 things. Minato kept all the Leafs history. So everything that would be in the library would be in there, in his library. He will also send a squad. He would also tell the shadow clone that is dealing with his dojutsu, to when he's fully mastered the power of the Shinigami, to go to seal up Uzagakure, as in take all of Uzagakure and seal it up into a scroll, because he doesn't want that to be in the open anymore. Because Naruto's a little bit more protective of his homeland now, because it's his homeland. Naruto would then go into the time and gravity chamber. He would set the gravity to about 50, and the time that passes through there. So a day in the time and gravity chamber is 3 days in there. So Naruto would go in. and the clones would be doing all of its stuff and doing everything it should be doing right now. But Naruto had picked up a sword, and he is gonna work on his physical strength. And there's 10,000 clones. There's 10,000 clones, and they're using chakra, and they're doing for chakra control. So Naruto would go, and the Kurama would basically trick Naruto's eyes, because he needed Naruto to have emotions and also not to have emotions. So if one of his friends went rogue, hint hint, he would be able to kill them without any problem. But he will also be still able to show emotion towards that person. So when Naruto training began, Naruto knew no taijutsu, no ninjutsu, and he couldn't use chakra or his dojutsu. So he also he's working on his physical strength above all. And he knows no kenjutsu stances. He's just basically waving around a sword everywhere. So he goes and he starts fighting. He starts fighting these white beings. They're not Zetsus. These white beings that's coming out of the ground. So he's fighting without any jutsu, and each time a clone comes in and puts food there for him to eat. And he also made a 50 clones to do him to learn how to make food, because he can't make food and he needs to learn how to do that. Trial and error. But one of the clones, when he was going out to get groceries, he saw Lee and Guy training. Guy went up to the 7th gate, and this clone, using Naruto's Dojutsu, knew how to open all 7 gates. But I'm gonna do something different with that. So this clone then told Naruto that he was gonna work on something that he saw some other ninja do. Naruto didn't know what it was, but he didn't really care, and he told him to do whatever. And he just made another clone to do what he was doing. So the clone is doing, he's gonna call this Whirlpool Fist first form, and he's gonna rotate the chakra of the gates and rotate it like a whirlpool into his body, and then it would create a reddish aura around him that looked a little bit like the Ultra Instinct aura, but red. If you know what that looks like, if you don't know what that looks like, check out Dragon Ball Z. Naruto, so it would be doing that, but it comes at a high risk. It also kind of tears your body from the inside out. But since Naruto's regeneration, because of him being Uzumaki and having the Nine Tails, and the Nine Tails giving him, pumping his chakra through his chakra stream all the time, Naruto would be able to withstand that, and any damage that is caused inside of his body will just heal up in a matter of seconds. Naruto would then go off, and the clone that was working on Naruto's Dojutsu fully mastered the power of the Shinigami. He then took a clone that knew the flying regime, and that clone used all of its chakra to push it into the kunai and throw it into the direction of the Hidden Leaf village. The Hidden Whirlpool village, Uzumaki no Sato, the village hidden in the eddies, that's what it's called. And it would make it halfway there, and the clone would teleport Naruto there and then dispel. The clone of Naruto then picked up that kunai and then walked the rest of the way to Uzumaki. He then made it to Uzumaki, and he did the snake hand sign, and a Reaper appeared out to Naruto's back. The Reaper then grew to the size of the village, and he grew taller he grew above the village and stretched out his hand. And it looks like the village absorbed into the Shinigami's hand, and then Naruto, the clone Naruto, threw a scroll at the on the ground, and it opened, and then the Shinigami proceeded to put the village into the scroll, and then Naruto wrapped up the scroll. The Shadow Clone was given more chakra to the QB because he knew that what Naruto was gonna do would take way more chakra than the other clones would take. So then Naruto, so the chakra of the Shadow Clone got half of the chakra zapped, and then the clone Naruto picked up the scroll, and then he put a pulse of chakra through the kunai. It then alerted one of the clones that could use the flying Wenji. Oh what? Never mind. The clone that I said dispelled, it didn't dispel. It just went back to where it was, and it came to pick back up the other Naruto, the Shadow Clone Naruto. It then carried it back to the village, and then it went back to what it was doing before, which is perfecting the flying wedgie until it takes not even 1%. It takes 1% of his chakra to even use. It takes 0.00 of Naruto chakra to use. That's what they're aiming to do. And I think is the flying wedgie being wrong, Gojutsu, whatever Minato's crazy name that he had for it, where you could like teleport where Minato teleported the tail beast bomb somewhere else to his other kunai, to another kunai. So Naruto is like doing that basically. And Naruto has a little different of Minato's kunai. He has, yes, it's 3-prong kunai, but instead of the scrolly looking thing that Minato had on his kunai, Naruto corrupted all of Minato's kunai, and it has the symbol of hope on everywhere that Minato had a flying machine mark. So is his and Naruto's flying machine mixed together. So Naruto and Minato, if he was still alive, could both use these markers. So both of them can use the same markers, except for Naruto's kunai, because Naruto has a Pacific marker on his kunai, and they're not a mix of the two. But Naruto could, yeah, you understand what I'm saying. So Naruto's kunai, it doesn't have that scrolly thing. It has the handle of a normal kunai, but at the end it have a 3-prong. It was a 3-prong kunai. Yeah, it looks a little different from Minato's kunai, a little different. So Naruto found his mother's sword, and the sword ability is a blood genjutsu, and it's able to copy. A blood genjutsu is soul stealing. And it can steal souls, and it can also copy the attributes of different swords. So like the 7 ninja swordsman swords. So if Naruto Clash Blades with Zabuza, it would take the regeneration ability of the Kiri Kuribocho, and it will also take and if Naruto Clash swords with the Samehada, it would gain a sentient is be like it's alive, a sentient thing, and it would also, unlike Samehada, it will only be it's sentient to only Naruto's bloodline are like, so if Naruto had children, it would be only they, it would only command to them because that is their masters. So yeah, Jesus Christ, that was so hard. Um, so Naruto would go and so how the blood genjutsu works is that if you are sliced, the when Naruto channels chakra the through the sword, the chakra enters your stream and disables all your senses except your mind, in turns giving you your mind and your eyes, in turn sending you into the blood genjutsu. The blood genjutsu is just a sea of blood where you get absorbed into the blood and there's nothing but blood that you can see, but you can still see. And then Naruto can control the blood to make a cross and then make a blood close on himself in the genjutsu and stab you. So basically it's like the Tsugayomi is like Itachi's Tsugayomi, and in that term of it. But it has no moon, it has nothing really. It's just there. It's just an infinite sea of blood. And the soul stealing, or the ability to steal your soul, is exactly how it sounds. It can steal your soul. It's exactly how it sounds. Like, so the what is that right now? That is it. What else I had? I think that was it. So, anyways, so Naruto would go. So I think that's the end of the training arc. I think. Let's get back into the view of the original Naruto, not the clones. He would be fighting the. Damn. So back to Naruto's POV, point of view, anyways. So yeah, Naruto would be looking at his friends, right? That's what it was supposed to, right? That was supposed to, right? Yeah. He'd be looking at his friends, and he would have been, what in his view, he would have been fighting his friends for a year, or his classmate. Some of them are his friends, but some are just classmates that also hate him. So, yeah. So he would have to kill all of them every single time. But no, they're not the actual people. They're clones of them, and they don't have the actual power scaling of them. This was just to get his mental ability up. So if he was put in a situation that he would have to kill one of his friends, he would be able to do so without any problems. Oh God, it's making something real dark. But anyways, so where am I? So he's been doing this for a year, and he doesn't have the same glee in his eyes per se. The glee is there, but it's not like it was. It looks like a hard trained shinobi's eyes. Like, it's seen many. It has this wisdom to it, right? So if you look into Naruto's eyes, it would look like he has been alive for more than he should have been, because Naruto would be 12 or 13 around this time. So it would look like he's like, how do I explain this? Like he's a wise old man, right? That's how I'm gonna put it. Like, he's seen many wars, he's seen many things, right? Cool. And it's been a month, and there's a month's time skip between Naruto getting his team Getting no, not getting his team, getting assigned to a team, and a Shadow Clone has been talking to Aruka through these days, and it was building a relationship between him and Aruka, a very father-like relationship that they would have, a father and a big brother relationship that they would have. All in all, so Naruto's senses ability. Naruto can basically see without his eyes. How am I saying this? His sight, his hearing, his breathing, his his overall senses has been heightened to the point where he can see a black and white mental image of his surroundings. So he can like see things that see with his eyes closed, basically. The whole he described it before. And his physical ability would be the level of my guy physical ability up to now. So yeah, he's that overpowered. Yeah. I don't know how long I'm gonna make this. This might be an hour. It's been 31 minutes. Yeah, this might be an hour. So let's talk about Naruto's elemental chakra natures. I'll define those first. Perfect. Naruto's elemental fire natures has been heightened, hence the Nine Tails constantly pumping QB chakra through his chakra stream. So stuff like his fire and lightning has been changed colors. So his fire is absolute red. It's I think it's violet. No, violet is not red. Wait. Anyways, a pure red flame instead of like a pure red flame, right? That's how I'm gonna depict it. There's no orange, just pure, complete red. Also has red lightning, so it's naturally red. Like not so like if Naruto has kids, right? Like Boruto, yeah, his lightning, his fire would be red, his lightning would be red. Yeah. But Naruto's water and wind would stay the same color because you can't really change those because there's like water and wind. They don't have different color water, they don't have different color wind, so there's different colors of fire and different colors of lightning, but there's no different colors of water and wind. So Naruto will learn stuff like the lightning ball, lightning stream, lightning dragon, lightning palm, lightning stream dragon, which is like doing a stream of lightning, and all the stream would all combine into a dragon head, which are combined into a dragon. Lightning wave, lightning bullet, lightning. What was that? Lightning hound, which is a technique that Kakashi used. If you don't remember it, and I'll remember all these lightning techniques are red and not blue or lightish blue or just like other colors. Yeah. Lightning tiger, lightning storm, and it's just like lightning. He would send a lightning beam to the sky, and lightning would start coming down from the sky and hitting the ground. It's more like to distract people, not to actually hurt anyone. It's more to distract people, more less than to hurt. And lightning tsunami, which is just a big wave of lightning coming towards you and hitting you and potentially killing you. So yeah. We're learning stuff like fire dragon, fireball, fire flamethrower, fire wave, fire hound, fire lightning, fire storm.
Yeah.
It's just like a big So, if there's noise in the background, please ignore it, because someone didn't do something. Where was it? 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 I think it was a firestorm or something. I can't remember, so sorry. I'm just gonna start from firestorm, right? So I think it was explaining it or something. So firestorm is where you send a blast of fire through your mouth and it all combines into like one fiery tornado. Pretty simple, pretty basic. Yeah. I don't know how to express this one, so I just gonna skip that. Fire stream, just basically a stream of fire coming out your mouth. Should be having mood swings. So I left off at fire stream, so just basically a stream of fire coming out your mouth and hitting your opponent. That's basically it, right? Cool. For water, it will be used like water mist, like Zabuza's mist jutsu. Water bullet, basic. Water prison, what Zabuza used against Kakashi, basic. Water shark bomb, what Kisame used against like Guyan thing. That's it. Pretty basic, like I said, pretty basic. Water palm. Wait, no, water dragon. Sorry. Yeah, what Kakashi uses all the damn time. Basics, right? Just basics. Water dragon. Water tsunami. I think you can like guess that one because that actually happens in real life. I think that's it. I think that's Naruto's elemental jutsu. Let me see if what anime that I should be talking about. Genkai was, I think he would have chain binding, adamantium chain binding. Right, cool. Adamantium chain dragon, adamantium chakra stealing. Jesus Christ. And chakra sealing. Yes. Chakra adamantium chakra seal. Chakra sealing. No, I'm gonna take a short break, right? Because I gotta fix some stuff. Hey. So, yeah. So, so that would be Naruto's chakra natures. And Naruto also have like basic earthlies. He wouldn't be that good at it. It would just be, he would just have earthlies. He could just like earth mud wall, earth dragon, earth clone stuff. Basic stuff, like basic shit, right? Like basics. Like it's nothing really too advanced because I don't know too much about earthlies. And I don't really research earthlies like I research water and wind, lightning and fire. It's not much of a known jutsu to use a lot. Except like headhunter jutsu. I know about that and I actually take a little interest in that. But so Naruto. So now we go on his sealing jutsu. Naruto is a maxed out level 100 ceiling master. And by level ceiling 100 master, so as in, if he saw a person use a seal that he never saw a person use before, he could just instantly learn it because he's a level 100 seal master. So you can use storage seals, very advanced storage seals. You can store a living person in a storage seal, a living person in a storage seal. He can seal a whole entire nation in a scroll. But he actually needs his dojutsu to do that one. So I don't really count that because it technically need a bloodline to do that one. But you could use a lot of stuff. You can actually seal a building and stuff in there and keep it to the same amount. So yeah. So like I was saying, Dojutsu wise, Naruto would know a priority of Genjutsu, so you would know stuff like tree binding Genjutsu. Most of the Genjutsu that Kurama would know, and he would actually know all the jutsu, the Genjutsu that Kurama would know. He would be on the level of Itachi at this point. Cause I believe if your shadow clones don't sleep, don't do nothing, literally just train the whole day, and there's thousands of you and they have the same intellect and intellectual mind of you and have the same stamina and can stay up at the same, they could actually surpass your sleeping. So yeah, it's like basically the same thing. Like I would believe that you'd be on Itachi level already. Kenjutsu, he could be all the seven swordsmen in a battle by himself and come up the victor because he's like that. He would come out the victor because he's good. That's all the explanation I'm gonna give. Like he's perfect. He, but he would come out with a screws and like break bones and stuff like that because the seven swordsmen are no joke. Let me clearly state that they're no joke when it comes to fighting. They are monsters. But at the same time, they're not impossible. If you understand that. So, Kenjutsu wise, he's a beast. He knows the Red Death style, his mother's style that he now knows is his mother's Kenjutsu style, and he knows many other Kenjutsu styles, but I can't name them because I don't know half of them. Like I actually don't know any of them. But he knows the dancing leaf style, which is another style that his mother used to use, but is an imperfected style, as in it's not the way it should have been. Like his mother wanted to literally stand on, like hop, like jump on air, as in like walking on air, but it couldn't be walking. It was likely jumping on air, basically, or stepping. How you want to clarify it as stepping on air, like stuff like that. But Naruto perfected it for her in her will, so he's able to like stand, like step. He's not able to stand by putting wind chakra on his feet and circulating it. Like the wind would be he would be able to step on wind. But it would take a lot of chakra control to do this. But thankfully, Naruto has chakra control Shadow Clone to do that for him. Well, they were also the ones that was patching that Kenjutsu style were also doing chakra control techniques to actually do the style. So they also have perfect control. So he has like double perfect control. Oh my god, he has like complete mastery over chakra right now. So, and also talking about chakra control, his chakra control shadow clones are also all each of them are perfect at chakra control, and the others and the ones that were doing the wind step, I'm gonna call it wind step, also have perfect chakra control too, because they actually need that to actually do the wind step. I'm gonna call it that. Damn, that shit sound cool. Wind step. Okay. Anyways, let me get right back on track. So did I leave anything out? Naruto would brief himself on all the history of the Shinobi, like, and the it will also wrote some books, like filling in the gaps that people left because they were around in that area that Kurama would have taught him and would have informed him about. So, and they were also shadow clones learning how to do QB chakra control. So he's able to go up to 5 tails without going complete rage cycle mode. Yeah, he's that OP. And his taijutsu, that's something else. I'm classifying the Whirlpool Fist as a taijutsu, but he also knows Uchiha style taijutsu and Hyuga style taijutsu mixed together. Because the Uzogan also has 360, perfect 360. There's no blind spot at the back of his head. Perfect 360-degree vision. So yeah, so he has no like blind spot that the other Hyugas have. He doesn't have that. But he can't see chakra though. He can see chakra in others like the Sharingan could with color, but he yeah, he can't see chakra points. But anyway, that's sad. Naruto in the time and gravity chamber, he's up to 100 the Earth's gravity by now, and is halfway through the month. So he has like another. He has like more to. He has more to go. So he's gonna stop it at 300 because he knows if he goes, he's gonna get too overpowered, and all. You would have fun, okay? This is gonna be a long what if. Instead of using his palms, he uses his knuckles to close chakra points. No, let me refrain from saying that again. He can see certain chakra points. He can't see all of them. So so Naruto will be in the time chamber actually killing all of his friends with no emotional face, well, no emotion on his face. He's been killing them for like a good year now, going into 2. But Naruto's body physically hasn't changed. His hair has grown. He's allowed it to grow. He allowed that part of his body to grow, but he's not aging or anything. That's not how that time chamber works. It just speeds up time, or speeds up the perspective of time, and how time flows and how time passes. The way this. And the way how this time chamber works is stretching out nature chakra in on Earth, and stretching it out, making the perspective of time longer, and making the perspective of time longer, and they're making time seem longer than it actually is. So it's been a good year for Naruto, and he's been killing his classmates and people that are close to him for years, all with 200 gravity on him, because he amped it up with 200 gravity on him, and they can move normally in it, but he's the only one that's affected by the gravity. So yeah, so Naruto is starting to move it up to 300. He only has it at 250 now, and he's still killing them with minimum effort. And then he turns it up to 300, and he gets a little bit more. He used to have to use a little bit more effort, but he says frigate, and he goes for 500. No, he's having a real challenge doing it, and he's actually pushing himself. So they're actually hitting him this time, but he's also slicing them up too. So, and they keep on coming. They don't stop. And Naruto has not rested for a whole. To him, was like 2 years. Well, no, 3 years, 1 year, or a year. A year. He hasn't rested for a year, but that's because the QB is constantly giving him his energy too. So the QB is the main factor of him being up right now. If he didn't have the QB, he wouldn't be even standing right now. So yeah. So Naruto would be. So yeah, he hasn't slept. So his body and muscle tone is huge. Like he has a 12 pack, like a 12 pack. His muscles are so defined to the point where they're inhumane, but he still has his slender 13-year-old build, and he's not buff boy, but you can see that those are muscles that doesn't belong, that shouldn't really naturally be on him. Because I'm telling you, his body doesn't change, but his hair has. The only thing that changed about Naruto is his hair and his whiskers and his kind of teeth. So right now Naruto's just wearing a white shirt that's actually turned red, because it's not blood, it's like animated blood, but it's only to make Naruto feel like trauma or something. I just stopped to eat and like get a bath and stuff, but after he does that, he goes right back to training, and there's nothing else than that. And then he used a a a ceiling clone on the outside. Bought a necklace, or told the person that goes to buy the groceries and food to buy a necklace, so he can store QB chakra in it. And he gave it to the actual Naruto, because the actual Naruto is having problems. If you don't remember, when Naruto gets exhausted and his chakra runs out, and by the way, if you don't know, also stamina drain also complies with chakra drain too. So if he burns out his stamina, he's also burning out chakra with it too. So yeah. So time to time, the QB chakra starts to leak out of him. Even if the QB doesn't want it to, it still happens. So he made a seal that absorbed the Nine-Tails chakra when it leaks out of him. So Naruto then put that on, and is keeping the QB chakra in his body now. It's keeping it in his body. Not in, well, it's absorbing it into the seal. They're then allowing him to go on to train and not worry about flipping out. Because each time he has to stop to make sure he doesn't flip out, but he can just like go right back to training. So yeah. Oh damn. So it's finally time time skip. It's the end. It's the last week of the month break, and all of his clones had completely mastered everything that they were told to do. So the flying Raijin ones, they can use flying Raijin with 0.000 effort, It's like second nature to them. It's like walking to them basically. Kenjutsu user is like a second arm, and the ones that learn sword style is like a second arm to them. Like, yeah, jutsu takes 0.0 chakra to freaking use. So yeah, taijutsu is like his natural body. Like, yeah, and genjutsu is like it's like basically looking into a person's eyes that just like it's like second nature to him. He can do it all like his second nature. Stealing jutsu, second nature too. His dojutsu, like his base eyes to him. But also his base eyes are on the level of a 3 to more Sharingan because he has to actually the clones can actually speed up themselves so they can go to Minato's level of speed. So Naruto has been pushing them up to that so he would get better reaction time and reaction speed and better provisional sight. So yeah. Naruto also realized that he would have a problem with Uchiha because they can also copy his jutsu that he would have made. So he then, when a clone came in to like bring his food, he then told the clone to go to the ceiling, to the ceiling clones, to tell them to create a seal where no Uchiha can ever copy his hand signs or copy any of his jutsu or his taijutsu or any of his techniques that he may use. Because Naruto doesn't really want like Sasuke Uchiha to like know any of his jutsu or know how to use his jutsu, or even know how the basics of any of his jutsu. I'm gonna say Sasuke has a brother in this one. He acts just like Sasuke, but he has Fugaku's hair, so it's brown. He has brown hair, brown short hair. He's not in a duck style. He's brown hair with black eyes, and he has fangirls too, and he will be on. He's basically a fighter, and the only reason I brought him in because Naruto will actually have to think about him, because there's 3 Uchiha alive right now, so they can also copy his jutsu. So he just doesn't want that. So the ceiling clones make a ceiling jutsu that negates the Sharingan or any person that wants to copy his jutsu or copy his hand signs. So every time they look to copy his hand signs, his hands just turn to look blurry to them. So yeah. So Naruto would finally exit the time and gravity ch- chamber after 2 years. Well, to him, 2 years. It's only been a month, really. After 2 years of training, and only his hair has gone like grown. His body still the same height. It's still Sasuke's height. His muscles, those have changed because they're like hard, and his reflexes are insane. So it's really hard to sneak up on him because he basically can see with his eyes closed. So it really is hard to like sneak up on him in any way. He knows this one gonna hurt though. He dispels all of his shadow clones. I didn't even get a second to say anything. He just knocks out because if you didn't know, that is one thing about the shadow clones. There's a lashback towards them. is a lashback. Yo, this is an hour already, and I didn't even like it. I'm now just now starting the actual canning series. Jesus. So then 2 days, because the QB was helping Naruto recover. 2 days, Naruto wakes up. He feels so much more powerful. In the time space, he was in his mind game. He was arranging everything to fit in their places, and his mind had to rapidly grow because it got a hell of a lot smarter. And he started, and he had to rearrange everything, make sure they were in their right space, and they were in their right space, and it was everywhere was where it's supposed to be, and it didn't damage any part of his mind. Yeah, to make sure of those simple things, right? So Arthur then went downstairs, cooked some food, and like ate it, and was like put on his new clothes. I'll show you them again if you didn't see them. This is his new clothes, but his his jumpsuit is open. It has a white shirt under it, and it always will be open. And actually, nothing else changed. He still has yellow hair, but his hair looks a little bit like Minato's, but it's not the same thing. It's like what the thumbnail has. It's like what the thumbnail has. Like the yellow hair is like that. So Naruto then goes into the time chamber again and put everything at max because he wants to actually test his power. So the speed is at max, the strength is at max, the weight is at max. The weight is 500, by the way. And Naruto, he just he gets in his fighting stance and they all dart towards him. He kicks one. They're in their normal forms. They're just white beings with black eyes. You can only see the black eyes. So he kicks one. He pulls out his sword. He slices one in half. He backflips on one. This hand says use a fireball. He then does it. There's another set of hand signs that use a lightning stream that kills four of them. And the fireball that hit the other person, he died too. He then pulled out his kunai and flipped into the air and threw them all at once, and they each hit every person. He then landed back on the ground. Then he activated his Dojutsu and grabbed the sword, and he went Madara faces the whole Shinobi Alliance on them because there was like 1,000 of them, and he was going ham on all of them. He was just like taking them all one after the next. And he trapped one into the Genjutsu, and yeah, into his sword blood Genjutsu. And bruh, Naruto, I made him OP. Like I made him OP. Like it might be a part two because I think I might end up at the training exams, but I don't think I'm like gonna go that far. I was going to do a whole one, but I got like caught up in like the beginning parts of it, so I just wasted time and just like did all of that. So the next he gets out of there, he takes off his clothes and just goes to sleep. He wakes up the next day, and today is the team assignments, and he puts on his new clothes and heads out the door, putting on his Aruka's headband that he still got from Aruka, and putting down his hair because he had it up in a bun. He washed his hair and just put it in a bun last night so he could just like get out. Then he proceeded to walk to the academy. Everybody was shocked. They hadn't seen Naruto in a month. So they were shocked. Naruto looks so different. He looks more like the fourth, and his whiskers are more defined, and his thanks are a little bit long, a little bit longer than the average one's supposed to be. All in all, the girls were looking at Naruto with heart eyes, because Naruto looked really, really attractive, if you want to say it that way. No homo though. With the sword strapped onto his back, and you can see the Uzumaki symbol on his shoulder and his back. Also has his kunai pouch, and he also has seals on his wrists with 3-pound kunai. He only has his shuriken in the pouch, but he has his kunai in on his wrist because he doesn't want to go and pull out a kunai. He just does a hand sign, and the kunai would pop out, and he would start fighting. And he would walk into the academy, and all the girls would be looking at him. This man looks like a beast. He looks handsome, and Hinata, as seeing Naruto, would actually catch a nosebleed and catch a fall because Hinata is like that, right? Look how sexy Naruto looks now. Because, bruh, she would catch a fall. She would catch a knockout and a nosebleed and a knockout. So, yeah. All the girls would be looking at Naruto with heart eyes, but also wondering if that's the same Naruto, because the same Naruto wasn't the same height, but they only realized that it was Naruto was because of his whiskers, and no one else had them in the village, and they had Naruto. They didn't know Naruto had any relatives prior to that. Aruka then steps into class and says hi to Naruto, taking his new look and how much he looks like before. Because in this one, Aruka knew who Naruto's real father is, because Naruto would tell him. Oh God, Jesus. Naruto would hug Aruka and Aruka would hug Naruto would hug Aruka back, and he would go on with the class. Aruka would then say, we're talking about one last assignment, one last lesson for the year, and that's talking about a clan that was forbidden to talk about because a member was in the village, and we didn't want him to know about what happened to his clan and why he's not with his clan right now. He then goes off to tell them about the Uzumaki clan, how they had a Dojutsu, how Naruto is one of the last surviving members of that specific clan, how they Dojutsu had the visual prowess of the Sharingan, and had the spatial awareness of the Byakugan, and had many other abilities that was kind of like the Sharingan, but a little bit better. And Sasuke scoffed at that. Sasuke and his brother scoffed at someone thinking that the Uzumaki's Dojutsu was better than the Sharingan. Like I told you, they act the same. They're the same person basically, but one has different color hair and different style hair. They even wear the same freaking outfit, but hey. So, and he goes on to talk about the sword of the Uzumaki, which is the sword that everybody realized that the sword that Naruto has on his back. Let me show you that real quick. The sword, it's on the screen right now. The sword. Would see the sword on Naruto's back and say that's the Uzumaki's sword, and he would go on to tell them the abilities about the sword. Naruto then Aruka would go on to tell them about their teams, and all the teams would be the same except Sakura would be on Sakura would stay on the Team 7, and Sasuke's brother would go on a team with two fighter and a fighter Jonin. Yeah. Damn. I'm disrespecting. They're actually all of them are fodder because I'm not really gonna be using for anything. He barely might get them and get your Sharingan. Barely, bruh. Just barely. So then Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura will be waiting on Kakashi, and Kakashi would still end up coming late like usual. Then they were going to talk about their goals. Naruto's goal would to be kill the man that killed his family and rebuilt his once great clan. But he doesn't want to join the CRA though. He doesn't want to do that. And even if it came to it, he would only they have 2 wives. Which hint hint Hinata sorry. I got some stuck in my throat. Current. Anyways, so Kakashi would then take them for the bell test, and everything would go to canon except Naruto. Naruto would actually hide in the bush this time and completely seal off his presence. Sasuke and Sakura would do the things that they did in canon, but when Naruto fought Kakashi, he was also obviously holding back, and everybody could see that Naruto was holding back against Kakashi, and he still ended up pushing Kakashi to the point where he had to activate his Sharingan, and he was still proceeding to bust his ass, nigga. And it was a pretty hard. So imagine the adult Kakashi and Obito fight. Imagine that, but with less Rinnegan, more of his sword and kunai and like fireballs and lightning and all this stuff. If black and white lightning, like that fight. So yeah, and when Kakashi would try to like copy some of Naruto's jutsu, it wouldn't work. And every time he tried to look at Naruto's hand signs, it would blur out from him. And then when Naruto showed him that he got the belt from him, Kakashi would then ask Naruto why that happened. Naruto would then explain that he also created a seal that would enable the Sharingan's copying ability, which still keeping his copying ability, that he could copy the other person, the person could copy him. So then Sasuke told him to give him that seal because he doesn't want him learning Genjutsu that he wants. Naruto then says to Sasuke, in the first place, first thing, I wouldn't give you the seal because I don't want to. Second is that I don't have anything to steal from you since everything you know, I know better. And then proceeds to walk off and leave. The Tarzan mission, I'm gonna skip to the Tarzan mission. Tarzan mission has the exact same what Naruto taking down the demon brother with the Conqueror's eye, and they just freeze and go on their knees, and Naruto interrogates them by putting them into the blood genjutsu. They then spill everything about Tarzan. Naruto knew this about Tarzan in the first place, but he didn't really say anything because he didn't really care. This whole thing with Zabuza, and Naruto would tell Kakashi to stay back and he would handle Zabuza. Zabuza would then underestimate Naruto at first, but when Zabuza saw that Naruto probably kunai and missed, he would start laughing. Naruto would then appear behind him and shove a red Rasengan in the back of Zabuza. Zabuza would fly to the ground in pain. You also realize that he should take this kid seriously and channel chakra to where that hit his back, and it would heal slightly, but then wouldn't heal. He would still be internally bleeding, but he would kept up his stamina. Naruto would then rush towards Zabuza, and both of their blades would clash. Then Naruto would realize that he remembered the ability that his sword also had, and he would copy the attribute of the Kirikori Bocho, which is the ability to re-heal itself when blood is made in contact with the sword. Oh my god. So their fight would happen like Kakashi and Zabuza's fight, but in this time it was Naruto that dealt with Zabuza, and he was dealing with it much more easier than Kakashi was. Naruto would then leave, would end up beating him, and he would allow Haku to take Zabuza. They would then go back to Tazuna's house, and everything from there would happen. Naruto would end up helping the village by cutting down trees and making plank wood, and also repairing the houses and cooking for the people. The people would compliment him on being a very good cook on everything that he did. God damn it. Inui would be shouting and saying that he shouldn't even help the villagers because he would still die in the end. And then Inui would go on to complain that he doesn't know pain. Naruto would get really angry with it, and then he would blast off on Inui. Naruto would then yell at Inui and saying, "You don't know how it feels not to have a parent. You don't know, you knew the the love of a mother felt. You knew how a father figure felt in your life. You knew a lot of things that I didn't get to experience a day in my life. So Inui, don't speak to me like I don't know pain. Inui, in my case, you're a mere brat to me." And then Naruto would proceed to leave the house. Sakura would then say that why was Naruto lying, and Kakashi would then say Naruto was not lying. Everything that he said did happen. He would also speak about how the village treated him when he was a kid. I just forgot to say it because I was too lazy and I wasn't reading the script properly. Naruto, and if you realize I'm reading the script because it's an hour and oh god, I'm not even gonna say it. God. So he would still meet Kaku and they would have the same conversation where Haku would tell Naruto that he is a boy and Naruto would proceed to be shocked. The rest of the thing would correlate with canon, but it said Naruto beating Haku the first try and breaking her mask. Haku ends up taking a Shidori to the chest, but Naruto didn't get the glimpse of the Shidori, so he didn't copy it. Zabo still sacrificed himself, and Naruto still buried the Kirikori Bocho with Zabuza. They wouldn't go back to the Hidden Leaf and be informed about the Chunin exams. And Naruto wouldn't really train for the Chunin exams because he's already stronger than everyone in the Chunin exams. Skip to the Chunin exams beginning. Everything would correlate to the canon in that Lee challenges Sasuke, but Naruto wouldn't really care and walk off. Lee would try to kick Naruto, but Naruto would catch his kick nonchalantly and fling off Rock Lee nonchalantly too. We would then walk into the Chunin exams and everything would proceed to canon except Naruto acing his test and actually feeling something weird from Hinata. Naruto, when Naruto was sitting down next to Hinata, he would sense Hinata's emotions and actually be able to actually sense what she was actually thinking at the point, but actually focusing a little bit harder. He would realize that she was actually confessing in her mind how much she loved Naruto and how long she wanted to be with Naruto, and now she's doubting herself because oh god. She's doubting herself because how Naruto got so insanely handsome and got so strong. And all the Konoha 11 did hear about Naruto's all basic 5 chakra natures, his Kekkei Genkai, his Dojutsu, all of them heard about it, and they were just astonished. And then they pieced together Naruto was training for these years, for these months, and that's why he looks so different, and why he's so much stronger now. The second, Naruto would keep what Hinata said in his mind and go on to do the second exams. The Naruto and Uncle encounter would still end up happening. All in all, Orochimaru would still catch the kunai and give it back to Uncle. All in all, did blah blah blah. Everything would happen to canon. Okay, so. This time, Ultron will be looking for Sasuke, Naruto, and Sasuke's brother, which I will not give him a name because he's a side character and he's not going to be really interesting to the plot anyways. So Naruto would be able to fight off Orochimaru at his full strength and be able to beat Orochimaru, but Orochimaru would pull a slight one and bite Naruto in the neck, and everything would happen. But Naruto, unlike Sasuke, wouldn't fall to the ground. He would actually, the QB would corrupt the curse mark and turn it into a curse mark. So the curse mark would turn red instead of black. But then the QB then told Naruto he couldn't use the power of the curse mark for a long time. He needs to make sure there's no side effects on his body after. So the QB is still working on the seal. Naruto would then go off and he would detach himself from the team. they already got the two scrolls, and they were just heading to the final area. And Naruto told him that he was just gonna go somewhere, and he ended up saving Karin, and then saw that Karin was Uzumaki because she had the chakra chain out. It just came out to defend her. Naruto would then ask her how her life was in the grass village, so if she wants to live with him, because he's also Uzumaki, where he pulls out a chakra chain from his back. Karin would explain her life in the hidden grass. Naruto would then give her an address and tell her to, when the Chunin exams finish, to stay in the leaf and cross out your headband and slip it into your partner's bag. So when they search it, they would realize that you are a rogue shinobi, and then you'll be listed as a genin of the village after. Karin would then agree to this, being Naruto being incredibly handsome, and Naruto actually caring about her and realizing that he was an Uzumaki too. The third round, the preliminaries would go on, and Naruto faces Lee would happen, and Naruto would actually show off a little bit and activate the the whirlpool fist first form and enter the first form. And the reddish aura would come around Naruto. The red, think of the Super Saiyan, not the Super Saiyan, the Ultra Instinct aura, but red. And yeah, and Naruto would be easily dodging Rock Lee in his fifth gate, and he's only in his first form, and he'd be easily dodging Rock Lee and stuff, and he would be talking during the fight and explaining that the whirlpool first form is basically an advanced version of the gates, and he would explain that he based it off seeing Guy use all up to the 7th gate. Guy would be shocked that Naruto created his own type of gates in his own way, and realized that Naruto was a pure prodigy, that he could do things that no one else could in centuries. The Hinata and Neji fight would still end up happening, and Naruto would, before any of the Jonins came there, would knock the shit out of Neji before he even had a chance to even put up his finger to lay a hand on Hinata to kill her. Because his eye insight showed him 2 steps before that. He knew the Jonins were going to intervene, but he did it before one of them could. And he grabbed Neji's hand as he was about to do it. And then he snapped it to oblivion. He completely destroyed his arm. Then he kicked him in the belly, and he hit the wall like a sack of potatoes. Right? He coming back from that. Then the 1 month training arc happens, and that's why I'm gonna be off this video. See you guys. That's it.